Hi and welcome to Crafty Ladybug. Today's tutorial is going to be on the larger Dalmatian dog. For today's tutorial I'm going to be using white, black, red, and a few pink rubber bands. If you like this design with the rubber bands, you're going to follow along exactly today with the tutorial, and we're making his spots with the black rubber bands. You can also use mini pony beads for the spots if you like the look of this dog here. This little puppy has the pony beads, and during the demonstration I will tell you when you should put your pony bead on as we're going through. So you can follow along either way. You will also be needing 2 small seed beads for your eyes, or I think they're called e-beads. Yes, they are called e-beads, and I've already got those strung on my band for the eyes. This is the brand that I use. If you need to go back and look at a tutorial of how to do this, I have a tutorial called bead threading on my site. The other item you will need to make in advance for this video is to take a single pink band, and you want to tie just a simple knot in the very center of it. This is just one band with a knot tied right in the center of it, and that's going to become our tongue area. His little tongue sticking out there. And we're going to begin today's tutorial with our loom set in a standard offset configuration with the arrows pointing towards our body, towards me. And we're going to begin with the leg portion. I make 2 separate legs, and then I'm going to attach them onto the body in a later step. So we've got quite a few things that we need to do and make before we get onto the actual body. We're going to do his legs first, his outside bottom legs first. Then we're going to do his upper legs, and his tail and his ears are all separate pieces. So this is an advanced level project. If you don't feel that your abilities are up to it, you might want to go look at the puppy video, the Dalmatian puppy called Spark Plug. This is Sparky, the daddy dog or the mommy dog, larger in size than Spark Plug. So we will have 2 dogs now for our Dalmatian Fire series. Okay, let's begin. I want to begin today's tutorial with telling you that I have no clue how many white bands we're going to be using. You just need quite a few. And you're going to need a few black bands. Once again, I'm sorry I didn't take the time to count. I just keep going with the videos sometimes and don't think about counting bands because everybody's got a good supply of white, I feel. So let's begin this tutorial with the leg by placing a center dangle band on the center peg. We're going to take 2 bands from the left to the right, 2 bands from the center to right, come down with 2 bands, and be careful here because I'm changing to 3 bands in the center, and I just broke a white one. So 3 bands in the center, another 2 bands coming down on the right, 2 more bands coming down on the right, 2 bands going in the center, and then we're going to do 1 band from the left to the center, 1 band from the center to the right. Going to take a single band and double twist it onto itself and place it on the right. A single band double twisted onto itself, placed on the right again. Next we need 3 bands coming down the right, and this is kind of making our little foot area a little bit fatter. And for your cap band, you're going to be taking 3 bands and double twisting it, those 3 bands, onto that last peg. So that was 3 bands double twisted to form that cap band. We want to take a single band, double twist it, and we're going to place it up here on these 3 pegs. to hold the item together. And I know that this is difficult to see the tutorial because of the white bands, but if we really want to make a Dalmatian, it's got to be white and black. I'm sorry. So for today's tutorial, just bear with me. Hit pause if you need to go back and figure out and catch up. Okay, we're going to start the next set of the dog area on the next step. And for that step, I'm going to place a band here on the center peg. And now I'm making the other leg for it. And we're going to do slightly the opposite of what we did up here. So it'll be 2 bands left to center, 2 bands center to right, 2 bands left, 3 bands in the center, 3 bands, guys, 3 bands there, 2 bands on the right, push that down a little bit, back over here to the left, and we're doing 2 bands, 2 bands in the center, and then we're going to be closing up our diagonals with a single band, 1 band center to right, 1 band center to left. We're going to come down the left side with 1 band double twisted, 1 band double twisted, coming down the left again. The next step will be 3 bands, 3 bands there. And for the end paw, because I want just a little bit of color in his paw to add sort of a spot at the paw area. And there's no rhyme or reason to this, it's just all Dalmatian spots are in different places. We're going to be taking 2 white bands and 1 black band. And this cat band is going to be double twisted. So 3 bands, 2 white, 1 black, double twisted around there to form your cat band. Okay. Now we're going to begin to loom our creation, and as we're looming, we're going to be adding the spots in. So this is going to be a little bit different technique than most of you are accustomed to doing, but just follow along and we will get through this. So the first thing I want to do is to reach into my bottom cat band, and I'm grabbing those 3 bands, and I'm just going to loop forward once. And I'm going to loop forward twice. Then you want to stop right here after you've done that second loop up. And where that second loop up is, you just covered that loop. We're going to take a single black band and twist it on there 4 times, like a 4-time cat band. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take the back of your hook or a skewer and just run around that cat band just a little bit, just to get it even, to relieve a little bit of tension. And then we're going to reach into that cat band, pushing back the black part of the cat band, and we're grabbing the whites that are down there. I'm going to loom forward. Next, we're going to loom our single band off to the right. And then we're going to loop our set of bands up to the left. And once again, we're stopping here on the left side. We're going to push that down a little bit. And we're adding a 4-time cat band. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sticking my hook in there just to relieve some of the tension and even out that cat band some. Just run your hook right around there. Reach into that cat band, push it back, grab your white bands and loom forward. And we're going to stop there on the left side. Now we want to come back over here to the center peg, and we want to grab our single band that's on top and carry it off to the right. We're going to reach into that center peg again and grab our, oops, guys, I forgot to do my horizontal band right here. So what I need to do is just to move back a step. Just fold back your left band there. It's okay, it can sit on top of the cat band. And just bring back your single white here for a second. And we need to do a 1 band double twist. I'm sorry about that, but it's okay. Now that I have my horizontal band there, which was a single band double twist, I can just move my one to the right back. And I can push back my horizontal band here and grab those two and come forward. And then we can grab our center and come forward. And we need to stop again. And at the stopping point, we're placing a 4-time cat band on the center and on the right peg. So you want to take your band and just wrap it around 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Band wrapped around the right, 1, 2, 3, and 4 times. You guessed it, we want to relieve a little bit of tension and run that around the cat band. And now we're okay to finish looming. So you want to loom your center up. And we want to move over here to the right, and we want to grab those bottom right 2 bands and loom those up. We want to finish off the right side to the center, and then come in and finish the left side to the center. And you want to reach down in there and grab your dangle band. I hold up my dangle band with 1 finger. And then just reach in there and grab your dangle band and pull it up and slip knot off your dangle band right there. So this is going to complete one of our legs. And you guys follow along with my videos. I use the back of my hook to pull things off. And you especially want to do that in the areas where there are the cat bands, where our spots are going to be. Because if you do not, it's going to rip some bands. And you guys will be mad at me because your bands broke. But here we have our one of our legs to our dog. Little puppy dog leg. See? Gonna be like that. And we want to actually hide our dangle band. You want to just run your hook through the back. And I use a smaller hook for this just because I find it easier. And just hide your dangle band on the back side of his leg. That'll be the side that doesn't have any spots showing on it. But there's our little puppy leg. Spread his paw area out just a little bit. And now we're going to move on to his other leg. Looming his other leg. And as we loom this leg, we're going to be adding black bands in again. So grab a couple black bands. And we're going to reach into our cat band there. And we're going to grab those 3 bands and come forward once. Stopping there. Taking a black band and wrapping around 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reach into that cat band, push it back, grab the bottom band, forward once, forward twice. Now we're going to stop, add another black cat band. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm just going to run my hook around there to release some tension. And we're going to come to the left with our single band. And that one was really tight for me, so I'm just relieving some more tension down in there. And I'm going to loom forward once. And I'm going to stop right here. I've already placed my horizontal band. You guys let me forget on the second one, but I didn't forget to do the first one. Center peg, we're going to wrap 1, 2, 3, 4 times around. That was a black cat band 4 times around. And I'm sorry about my hands, guys. They just get in the way when I have to do the videos and the cat bands. So we're going to come to our right or left, relieving tension on that band again. And we're going to loom our center one up, straight forward up. And we're going to come over here to the right side, and we're going to loom straight forward once on the right side. And here we go. We're going to be adding cat bands again. 4-time cat bands. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to add a 4-time cat band on the left peg. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So cat band on the left peg, cat band on the right peg, 4-time black. And we're just going to relieve some tension around that little guy because I can see he's not even for me. And just running my hook around there. I'm going to run my hook around the top one too. And push back. And we're going to come forward once. We're going to come forward in the center. And we're going to reach into our right, and we're going to finish off the right diagonal. And then we're going to reach into our left and finish off our left diagonal. Dig down in there, get your securing band, pull it out, and slip knot it off. And once again, we're going to pull it off the loom by using the back of our hook or a wooden skewer if you're using the Rainbow Loom hook. And you're going to hit pause if you need to catch up. And we're just pulling these off because there is a lot of tension on them. And here we have got our other leg to our doggy with his little spots. And once again, we're going to hide our securing band just by weaving it in the back portion of our loom. And just get that hidden in there a little bit. Oops. Missed that one that time. So just hide that in there. And here we have our other leg to our puppy dog. So we have 2 separate legs, and we'll be placing those on the loom in just a little while. So just set those up here and out of the way. And now we're going to begin with his tail and his arms and then his ears. And that'll fit on another set of the loom. So what we're going to do is lay everything out and then loop everything at one time. We're going to work on the tail first, which we need a single band dangling over the outside edge. You're going to do 3 bands next, which will be 2 white and 1 black. Then we're going to do 3 whites, 2 whites, 2 whites. The next is a single band double twisted. Another single band double twisted. A black band single double twisted. And a white band single double twisted. And then we're going to do a 4-time cat band on the very end here. 1, 2, 3, 4-time white cat band on the very end. And we're just going to leave that for a second, and we're going to lay out his 2 arms and his 2 ears. So for his 2 arms, we want to first begin with 2 bands, 2 bands, and this just coming straight down the center, 1 black band double twisted, 1 white band double twisted, another white band double twisted, and 2 bands wrapped around this last peg. Our cat band's going to be 2 bands 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. 2 bands, 3-time cap for that arm. And we're going to move on to the next arm, which will be on the right side here. 2 bands, 2 white, 2 more white, 1 white double twisted, 1 black double twisted, 1 white double twisted, and 2 bands again twisted 3 times around. 1, 2, 3. Now we're just going to move down slightly and we're going to do his ear area. For the one ear, it doesn't really matter which side, we're going to do a single band in this open spot here. The next one is going to be 2 white and 1 pink. This is going to be a little bit of our inner ear area. So it's 3 bands total, 2 white, 1 pink. The next is 2 bands, 1 band white, double twisted, and we're going to end with a 4-time black cat band on this ear. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Not sure that was not 4 for me, so I'm just going to pull that off and I'm going to redo that again. Sorry about that, guys. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. The next ear, I'm just going to start over here again, and that'll be a single band, 2 white, and 1 pink. Two white, and the next is going to be 1 black double twisted placed on the loom, and the cat band is going to be a 4-time white band this time on this ear. 1, 2, 3, 4, because the Dalmatian spots are never even, and that's the reasoning behind that. So the first thing that I'm going to want to do is to loom the ear. And this is just basic straightforward looming. Nothing special about it. You're just doing a single chain up. And when you get to the one last band, you just finish off there. Reach into your other ear and we're just straightforward single band looping. Reach my single band, and I want to take my toothpick and place my toothpick in and gently pull up the ear. So there's one ear, just secured on my toothpick for a minute. Reach in, and thanks to PG's Lumacy for his great toothpick idea. He's another great creator. Follow along with his videos. Here we go. We have the 2 Dalmatian ears that we're just going to set aside. And now we're going to work on the arm area. And for the arm area, we're going to be stopping during the arm area to do a few cat bands for spots. But for the first one on the right side, you want to loom straight forward once, straight forward twice, straight forward 3 times, and straight forward 1 more time. And we want to stop right there, and we're going to do a 4-time cat band. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-time cat band. We're going to reach in, and we're going to finish off this leg, front leg. I'm going to reach into the center, and I'm going to come straight forward. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I'm going to stop right there again, and we're going to add 1, 2, 3, a 4-time cat band, and you guessed it, we're going to loom straight forward, and that is going to finish off our legs. Once again, take your toothpick, reach in there, gently pull up, because we've got those cat bands on there. So here we've got one leg that we'll place on our little guy in a little while, and another leg that we'll place on our guy in just a little while. And you'll see that his little cat bands there got kind of wompers. We're just going to stretch those out just a little bit, get them a little bit more even, make his paws. And we're going to set our legs aside up there with our ears and all of our other pieces that we have. So you got your ears and your front legs and your back legs. And now we're going to do the tail. And for the tail, we're going to loom straight forward once, straight forward twice, straight forward 3 times, straight forward 4 times, and we're stopping after that 4th loop up, because this is where we're going to add a spot. Sorry about that, which is a single band 4 times around. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to relieve a little bit of tension on that band, and we're going to come straight forward again. 1, 2 times. Pause. Add a spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reach in and pull out those bands. Come straight forward once, come straight forward twice, and then reach in to get that last band, which actually we are not, we're not doing a slip knot on that one. You want to just hold that in your hook for a moment, and you want to pull your tail off and just kind of straighten him up a little bit. And that's going to be your tail that we're going to attach in a little while. And we'll get it to bend the way we want it to at the end. I'm just going to take my tail and secure it on the toothpick with the front legs. So we have our 2 front legs and our tail that we'll be using to construct our little guy. Okay, so for the rest of our little guy, we need to do a little bit of prep work first. And that prep work is to take black bands. We're going to need 7 black bands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 black bands. 3, 4, 5, 7 black bands. And we're going to need 14 white bands for this part. What we're going to do is to take 2 white bands and pull through on that black. This is making the spots on the back side of his body that I need to make before we start creating the layout for his body. So we're taking 1 black band and we're going to wrap it around our hook 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It was a 4-time band around our hook. And then you're going to pull through 2 white bands. So you've got your 4-time band on those 2 white bands. And we're just going to set this aside. We need to do 7 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 bands. Slide that on those 2 bands. And we're going to just set this aside. We're going to be using these in just a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 bands. Pull that over. And set that aside. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 bands. Bring that over. And set that aside. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 bands. I know, tedious work, but he looks so cute. He's so cute when he's done. I love, oh, I broke a white band in there. So I have to start that one over. Sorry, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 bands. When my son was little, that's what his room was, 101 Dalmatians. I was in love with Dalmatians. So when he was a little boy, that's what I did his nursery in. I'm going to put a contest out there to anybody. Make 101 of these, or the baby puppy, little spark plug, and post a picture of 101 of those guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anybody up for the challenge? Pull through. And last but not least, the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 bands pulled through. And there we go. Got all of our prep work done. So let's begin by laying out our puppy dog. And to lay out our puppy dog, we're going to do a single band dangling over the center. That's going to be our securing band at the end. We're going to take one of these guys and we're going to go from the left to center. Then we're going to take 2 bands from center to right. One of these guys, our little black spot guys, coming on the right side. Two bands in the center. 2 bands on the left. I'm going to go 2 bands on the left again. 2 bands in the center. 2 bands on the right. And the center is going to be another set of our black spot bands in the center. And then we're going to finish off the cheek area by closing in the diagonal from left to center and right to center. That was with 2 bands. This next step is going to be 3 bands. 3 bands for his neck area, which is going to be right smack dab in the center. And then we're going to come with 2 bands from center to left, 2 bands from center to right. On the left side, we're picking up our another 2 spotted bands on the right. I'm sorry, on the left. Left. Don't know my left from my right today. 2 bands in the center, 2 bands on the right. 2 bands on the left, 2 plain bands in the center, and the next right is going to be one of our spotted bands. There we go. Back to the left again with 2, to the center with 2, to the right with 2, back to the left with 2. Center is going to be a spot. one of your spotted bands. And I did not get both of those bands hooked over, so just secure that down on there. 2 bands on the right. And now we need to close off our center with 2 bands. And our bottom portion of our dog is going to be left. Finish off the diagonal with a spotted band. And center to right, finishing off with two single bands. So now we need to work on our horizontal bands to fill everything in, and then we're going to be ready to loop and loom. So we're going to take a single band and we're going across the bottom triangle, a single band above that, a single band above that, and the next one is going to be a single band double twisted. These whites are breaking on me today. Single band double twisted. And we're going to move up here to the face. And for the face portion, we need to make his muzzle for this area of the face. And the muzzle is going to be 1 black band, 1, 2, 3, 4 times around your hook. And we're going to pull through 3 white bands. Pull that black band over to 3 white bands. And you want to secure it back off on the end of your hook. Pick it back up on the end of your hook. We want to take 3 more white bands and we're going to pull through and secure back on our hook. And this is making our muzzle area. And to do our muzzle area, it's going to be a little confusing during looping, but this is going to be your horizontal band. You're pulling all that muzzle area onto your horizontal band. And then we want to stretch our horizontal band left to right in the cheek area. And you want to push back a little bit. And you want to find your top portion of that band. And you want it to come forward. So your muzzle's sitting down in there a little bit. So your band actually loops around the 3 pegs, but the muzzle is sort of enclosed in the center. Then for our upper portion where our eyes are going to be, you're going to be doing another single band. And we're going to place our eyes on the second peg from the left to the second peg from the right. That's where our eyes are going to go. We're going to do something special here. We're going to take our hook and we're going to grab the center portion of where our eyes were and just loop it down to that center peg and catch it on that center peg so that our eyes are secured down there underneath the center peg. And we need to add one more thing to that center peg. That's a busy little peg there. And you're going to add his little nose, or not his nose, his little tongue area coming out. And for the tongue, you just want to push it down underneath his muzzle. Just push it down a little bit. And we're going to dig that back out at the very end when we get done looming. But that's where his little nose goes. Okay. And since we're up here at the head portion, I'm going to add my ears. And I'm just going to take one off and place it at the very top peg. And I'm going to take the other one off and just place it up at the top peg also. That's where they'll go if you want your doggy ears to be at the top of your head, such as this one. If you want your ears down a little bit further and making the head look a little bit blockier, you would do these 2 pegs for your ears. But I think this one looks cuter. His face, I like his face better there. So that's what I've chosen to do today. Okay, now we need to add his tail and his outside legs, his back legs. And he's going to be in a sitting position. You won't get him to stand up too well. You might be able to, but he's designed to actually be in a sitting position, in a playful sitting position. So, I am sorry about that slight pause. Our next step is to place our tail on our little guy here on our loom. And we're going to be placing it facing down. You want the spots facing down. And you just want to extend out that band, and you're going to place it over your last peg. And we're going to be using that as a cap band. And just kind of snooker his tail down in there. And the next thing that we're going to do is to place his legs on. So we are going to be doing one leg with spots pointing towards the right. And in order to do that, what we're going to do is you want to take your leg and sort of figure out a band to pull from the inside. You're going to take two bands actually. You're going to put one on the next to the last peg. And you're just picking up a band on the inside of that leg area. No particular one. I just reached in and grabbed a single band that was in there. And you want to grab another single band from in there and place it on the bottom peg. And that's going to loop in our little dog's legs as we go up the loom. You want to kind of grab one that's more towards the center, like the center of his little leg, and just tuck that on right there. And it's going to fall in a little bit and look a little crazy. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. We're just going to grab a band and place it over that peg. And we're going to grab in there and grab another band and just bring it over that peg. And that's our back legs. During loop up, we're going to be adding our front legs when we get up here to loop up. So let's begin by reaching into our little tail area, and we're going to grab those two diagonal bands that go off to the right. Just push your little paw back. And then we're going to reach in and we're going to grab the two bands that go off to the left. Once again, just pushing the tail cap band back. You want to reach in and you want to grab the two bands that are going to the center. And now we're just going to loom all the way up to the collar peg. So reach in. And we're going to loom straight forward up on the left. This is just basic, straightforward looping. And I'm sorry, we're going to stop right here at this peg. You don't want to go all the way up to the collar. We're just going to stop right there for a minute. You want to loom your center on up. Not the very last peg. And we're going to come back here to the right, and you're just pushing your leg out of the way. And you're pushing that little leg portion in your cap band back. And we're going to loom up to that point right there. We're going to stop right here. And this is where we're going to add our legs. So our front leg, one leg will go here. And the other leg will go on the opposite side. And you want to make sure that your spots of your legs are both facing forward. So that's where our legs are going to go. And now we're able to finish looping forward. And you want to push back on your legs and kind of keep those there as you would a cap band. I'm just going to come over on the center with my left, reach in for my right, and coming forward. I'm ready to do my center. Don't forget about that center peg. If you don't do that center one, your whole little guy is going to fall apart and you're going to be mad at me. I accidentally grabbed another loop there, but there we go. Now we're doing neck area, which we're going to reach in there and we're going to grab our neck pieces, our 3 neck pieces, and we're going to come straight forward. And we're going to reach into that center portion and we're going to go to the right. And we're going to go to the left. And we still have our center band that we have to worry with, but we have our muzzle. For the muzzle, you want to lift your muzzle up and over the peg that you're about to loop forward to. So reach down in there, grab your center peg, and loop it onto the muzzle peg that was just there. Now we want to take our muzzle and pull it back down over. Now we're able to reach in beyond our cap bands and beyond our little pink band, push everything back, and you want to grab the bottom 2 bands and come straight forward. And here you want to finish up to the center. Now come back to the left, and we're going to finish off our left side just by straightforward looping, pushing back our cap bands, horizontal bands, whichever you guys call them, coming over to the center. We're almost done, Sparky. Reach in on the right, finish up our loom, and center. And I'm just going to push this little spot up a little bit. Okay, now we're ready to reach in, grab our dangle band, pull it out, slip knot it off, and pull Sparky off of our loom. Once again, I use the back of my hook. That way I don't tear up anything. Bands don't go flying off because you've stretched them out too far or just ripped them. Reach into my nose area because there's a lot of things on that peg. Collar, shoulder. Here's another area with more bands on it. So you want to be sure that you just don't rip Sparky right off the loom. You can gently lift up in some areas. There we go. And Sparky is looking a little odd as soon as you pull him off the loom. The first thing we're going to play with is the tail area. So I want you to flip him over the back side. Give a little stretch and tug and just even out your spot some. The bands will be a little congested. And for your tail area, take the back of your hook and place it in between these bands here. And you want to push down on your hook and pull up with your tail. Down on the hook and up with the tail. And that has put our tail in its position that it needs to be in for the sitting position. If you want your tail to go forward more, you just take your hook, run it through a portion of the tail, pull down and push up on your tail. And that's going to get our tail to go more in an upright position. And our front paws are a little off kilter at the current moment. So in order to fix this problem, we want to go take our hook, place it in the neck area, and you're going to pull forward with your hook and push back with your head. Forward with your hook and back with your head. And that is going to make Sparky look like he is sitting. His head is still looking a little crazy. So we got to poke out his eyes. And there's his eyes. And up, his pink of his nose is way up there, his little tongue. So we got to reach in. We got to dig out his tongue. And you just want to dig out part of that knot. And the end loop portion, there's his tongue popping out. Straighten up his muzzle a little bit. Just fiddle around. Kind of get his little nose hidden down in there. And with a little bit of fiddling, we have got Sparky. So here we've got Sparky. You can play with his ears. You need to hide his little hook in the back if you're not using it as a charm. And last but not least, we need to give Sparky a collar. That's a double twist red band. Place right there to give Sparky his little collar. And you can play with the ears and make them come down or up, whichever direction you want your ears to go in. I didn't do such a good job hiding my securing band, but just fiddle with them and you have got yourself a cute little Sparky Dalmatian. Thank you so much, and I hope you watch my other fire-related videos, which include Spark Plug, the puppy. And you guys can see the difference in the sizes of those two right now. And the fireman, and the fire hydrant. And I also have a video out for fire logs. Thank you guys so much.